Middle game on Saturday is the Pittsburgh Steelers going on the road to the Indianapolis Colts. Kickoff at 4:30 p.m. Eastern time. This one is now sitting at Colts as a 1.5 point favorite. Total anywhere between 42 and 42.5. It looks like TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith will play for Pittsburgh. They've progressed through the concussion protocols. We're waiting for final word on that. But unlike a couple of other guys who have not been practicing, they have been out there. They've been doing media availability. So at this point, I would be surprised if the Steelers' two leading sack getters are not on the field. Nevertheless, it's still Mitch Trubisky, and you basically have to back him to win a game here, Adam. And we have seen the Colts offense at least be able to move the ball. I don't know what you think about their defense at this point, but Shane Steichen has at least been able to put up points for the Colts.
He has. It was a weird week last week for them against Cincinnati, in which they got a touchdown and then they got a defensive score, and then it just kind of all went to crap for a while after that. They had some drives that didn't ultimately lead to points. So this Pittsburgh defense, I think, is kind of a shell of itself with the injuries that they're suffering from right now. And I think the other piece of the equation for me is I am not thinking anything of the Pittsburgh offense with a beaten up Deontay Johnson, with Mitch Trubisky at the helm, and a total sitting 42.5 that has been bet up. That's a movement that I guess probably goes toward the Pittsburgh defensive injuries and Indianapolis's ability to move the ball. But
we've seen this a lot all year, right, Adam? Like there's been a lot of interest in just blanket betting the Colts overs this year.
I guess so. I mean, and I get it, because what you're going to get out of Minshew is going to be points for one of the teams, right? But in the last 2 weeks, Gardner Minshew only has 2 turnover-worthy plays, and that's really where a lot of the variance comes from. And when you look at Minshew, you're kind of saying, all right, well, maybe you're going to get points out of the fact that he's going to throw an interception that leads to a short field for Pittsburgh. I don't know that we've seen as much of that from Indianapolis. So, in general, unders have been the play this year. We know that the average total is down in the range of 41 by this point. So I would be looking toward under. I can't get to what would seem like a natural teaser leg on Pittsburgh just because Trubisky has been so bad. So if you trust that Indianapolis offense, like you were just saying, Steven, then I might avoid that teaser leg. I'm not sure how you feel about it.
Yeah, it's tough for me because it just seems like we're back to the Steelers offense being pretty one-dimensional here, with them wanting to be excessively run heavy here, right? Like they don't want Trubisky dropping back and throwing 40 times in a game. So, I took the bait here. I bet the over again with the Colts. I've cashed it the last couple of weeks and just going to kind of ride it here. There's a couple of matchups here that I thought were pretty solid. Despite the fact that Pittsburgh wants to run the ball a lot, this is still a pretty decent defense to do that against. The Colts are bottom 5 stopping the run by success rate this season, and they're dead last in the past 6 weeks in that metric. Now, on the flip side here for the Colts offense, I think it's a style of play thing too. I think it's pace. I think it's how often they want to throw the ball. I mean, just looking at the overall season trend for them, 9 of their 13 games have gone 47 plus total points. Total is still sitting at 42 right now. And then just stylistically, the Colts rank first in both pass rate over expected and neutral pace over the past 4 weeks. So Steichen's letting it rip and moving fast despite Gardner Minshew being his quarterback here. And I have questions about the Pittsburgh secondary, Adam.
I completely understand where you're coming from in terms of that handicap. You're looking at 21.5 as the team total for the Indianapolis Colts. I think I would be much more comfortable if you wanted to play this on the Indianapolis team total over than if we were playing full game over involving Pittsburgh having to do its part with what we've seen out of this Pittsburgh offense under Trubisky in the last 2 weeks, because when we talk about these totals, I just play out natural game scores, right? And think, okay, what if the Colts get to 28 in this game, right? If the Colts get to 28, I still need the Steelers to come up with more than 14 points. And the state of that offense right now scares me a little bit in terms of that. So the stats you gave in terms of Indianapolis to me would lead me more toward I trust the Indianapolis side to get to its part of that total.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. That the Colts seem like the higher floor, higher ceiling side of this for sure. And the Steelers, I mean, we talked about the pace that the Colts want to play at. The Steelers want to play the complete opposite. So we kind of have a complete clashing of paces here, and it's going to be curious to see which one winds up winning out in the end here. So yeah, certainly wouldn't fault anybody for taking the Colts team total instead of the full game over in this one.